The Last Airbender is a movie by M. Night Shyamalan and is quite possibly one of the best fan films I've ever seen. This movie stars some actors and non-actors, and I don't know why everyone hates this movie. This is a wonderful film. I mean, it's obviously dodgy in the special effects department and story, but as a fan film, it's a wonderful achievement. What? Okay, apparently this isn't a fan film. This is like a legitimate blockbuster film. Oh, okay, I got it now. Okay, now I know, I see it. It's supposed to be like a actual movie. It's not supposed to be like a free film you watch on YouTube. And yeah, okay, so, and in all seriousness, let's begin this cinematic atrocity review. So, The Last Airbender is a movie I watched when I was super tired. For me, I used to work at a movie theater, and sometimes I get home late, and sometimes I get home just in time to watch 2 episodes of South Park playing back to back. And I always noticed when I watched South Park after a long, grueling 8-hour shift, it would be funnier, because I'm tired, you know, I'm just looking to laugh. So I thought watching The Last Airbender after, being really tired would be, a good idea. And the result is a movie that feels like one big montage. This entire movie feels like it's in a hurry. Like, the first 5 minutes, they found the Avatar. He's been captured on a ship, and the villains have him. Like, and then they use voiceover to speed it up. He learns, he learns waterbending within like 5 seconds. And they introduce major characters literally within seconds. And then by like an hour into the movie, they're already at the water temple. And they're trying to cram like it's like, what is it? The first season, I think, of Avatar it was like 25 episodes, 20 minutes each at least. So that's like 8 hours worth of story into an hour and 45 minutes. That's like an impossible task. I don't think anyone in the history of media has ever taken an entire season of a TV show, made it into a movie, and made it passable. It's just not possible. There's just too much ground to cover. And I don't, obviously envy M. Night Shyamalan doing this Herculean task, but he wanted to do it. He wrote it, he produced it, he directed it, he watched the series, he made it for his kids. He hired the worst actors to be in this movie. Okay, first off, as a cinematic atrocity, this movie fails hard. It's not even funny. There's only 2 scenes that made me laugh really, really hard. It was the scene where the Fire Nation confronts our trio of main characters, and Katara has this badass moment where she's like gonna waterbend, and they're all like, oh, she's a waterbender, and then she summons the water out of her canteen, and she accidentally freezes Sokka. And then they get captured. It's like the most hilarious thing. I don't know why. That scene's meant to be funny, I guess. So that just made me laugh really hard because I was super tired. The second scene that made me laugh my ass off was immediately after when they're at the prison Earthbender camp, where Aang just walks into the camp with them, and he's all he gives them the worst speech in the history of cinema. It's on par with the speech of Snow White and Snow White and the Huntsman. Literally, he just walks in there and goes, would you guys rebel if the Avatar was here? And they're like, maybe. And he's like, well, I'm the Avatar, time to fight. And then everyone bends really, really slowly, like a turn-based RPG. These 3 guys, they summon a rock wall, and then it just goes like this. It's so slow. Oh my god, that scene was hilarious because I'm pretty sure that's the first big bending sequence, not including air, because Ong uses air bending to escape the ship. Oh my god, the movie does everything wrong. There is the whole movie, feeling rushed and everything, but there's also them calling everyone's name wrong. Iroh is Iro, Aang is Ong, Sokka is Sokka, Katara, I guess, is the only one that's done right. Ozai is walking around, and he seems like he's he's bored or something. He just, the way he's dressed, he seems like he's like, you know, waiting a ball, and he's just like, oh, seriously, it's hard to talk about this movie. It's that painful. I can just imagine some kid begging his parents to take him to the movie, them paying $12.50 each for a movie ticket, buying popcorn, taking time out of their day, sitting down and watching this movie in 3D. Yikes. Okay, so those are the only two scenes that made me laugh in the movie. So, I mean, other than that, the rest of the movie is just boring. I mean, they try to cover all the different aspects of the first season, from the Blue Spirit episode to the finale, the Siege on the North, the Moon Spirits. They mention there's so much fan service, but it's not really fan service. It's just references. Like, they reference Hama, the Bloodbender. They reference the library. If I had to pick any actor who actually like seemed like they were trying their hardest, it'd be Zhao. Zhao is the only one who actually seems like he's trying to do something. He's the one who antagonizes other people, and he seems like the real villain of the story. He's the most animated, I'd say, like the most trying hard. Everyone else kind of feels stiff and cold. Literally everyone. There's Ozai, played by Cliff Curtis. He seems bored throughout the thing. Dev Patel's there. He doesn't get a lot to do. Iroh's there too, but they just keep calling him his uncle, and there isn't much going on in that department because they're setting it up for the next, you know, story. And, you know, there's no Azula, obviously, because we're only covering book one. But, like, the rest of the actors are painfully boring. You know, it was a mistake to pick a martial artist for your main character, because he's going to be on screen for, like, 75% of the movie. And that speech scene is just painfully awful. But also the really slow-ass, you know, element bending. I mean, seriously, it just felt like they were just taking turns. And, you know, $150 million visual effects budget. The lizards look okay. And then, like, you got Nicola Peltz, who, you know, ugh. And then Jackson Rathbone, yeah, he wasn't good either. In fact, none of them were very convincing. And it's not, yeah, it's just when your sub-villain is the best part of your movie in terms of acting, it's just, it can only go downwards from there. Yeah, overall, The Last Airbender is not even a good movie when you're tired, or even if you were drunk or high. It's simply just a really bad movie, not because it's not trying hard. I mean, it just feels like another movie called The Dark Tower. It came out in 2017. It's an example of a movie studio trying to shove more source material into 1 hour, 45-minute story, or even less runtime, and try to make it competent. You know, the Dark Tower movie tries to cram 7 books and cherry pick little elements of every book into one movie, and it just doesn't work. It feels scattershot. The acting is okay, but the movie just feels really rushed, and it feels like slipshod. You know, it'd be trying to like take all 7 Harry Potter books and trying to shove them into one movie. It simply would not work. The same goes for taking 25 episodes of a television show and trying to cram it into 1 hour, 45 minutes. It's just something that's not doable. I mean, even if you had a different director, different script, it would just be really hard to try to make something, you know, feel like a complete story with such a limited runtime. Even if the movie was like 2.5 hours, you tacked another hour, it wouldn't really do anything. You'd be able to tack on a little bit more character development maybe, but it's definitely they were doomed to fail at the beginning. You know, M. Night Shyamalan, you know, he, you know, in recent years before the release of this film, he was not, you know, doing very well anyway. This movie was like the final nail in the coffin, I'd say. So The Last Airbender as a cinematic atrocity isn't even it's not a good movie. It's not a good, so bad it's a good movie. It's simply just a bland piece of shit. And, you know, people are mad to be upset about this film existing, you know. So overall, I give it a 2 out of 10 for cinematic atrocity. I do not recommend watching this film under any circumstances.